First Contact Deception. Commander Julian Reeves stood at the observation deck of the EDS Hyperion, watching the approaching Galactic Council delegation vessels with carefully concealed suspicion. The sleek, crystalline ships moved with an almost artistic grace, their hulls refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. But Julian hadn't survived 15 years in Earth's defense force by being mesmerized by pretty lights. Analysis complete, Commander, Lieutenant Prisha Patel reported from her station. Their weapon signatures are interesting. Julian turned from the viewport, raising an eyebrow. Define interesting, Lieutenant. They're running hot, sir. Way too hot for diplomatic vessels. Energy outputs suggest military-grade weapons, just powered down to barely detectable levels. They're trying to mask their true capabilities. A slight smile crossed Julian's weathered face. The Council thought they were being clever, but Earth had been preparing for this moment for decades. Ever since first contact 7 years ago, when the Galactic Council had graciously offered to guide humanity's development among the stars. Keep monitoring them, Lieutenant. And make sure our own masking systems are functioning perfectly. The Council's representatives believed they were approaching a primitive species barely functional space station. The Hyperion's true capabilities remained hidden behind carefully crafted energy signatures that made it appear far less advanced than it actually was. The Council's lead ship, the Celestial Harmony, initiated docking procedures. Through the viewport, Julian watched as its crystalline form settled into place alongside the Hyperion. Right on schedule, his comm unit chimed with an incoming transmission from Earth Command. Status report, Commander Reeves, Admiral Kenzo Tanaka's voice came through, clear and sharp. Council delegation arriving as expected, Admiral. Their ships are armed, as intelligence predicted. They're maintaining the facade of diplomatic vessels, but they're ready for combat. As we suspected. They're here to deliver an ultimatum, not to negotiate. Remember your orders, Commander. Maintain the deception at all costs. Let them think they have the upper hand. The Council had spent the last 7 years studying humanity, or so they thought. In reality, they had been studying exactly what Earth wanted them to see, a rapidly advancing but still naive species, eager for guidance and recognition. They never suspected that humans had discovered faster-than-light travel decades before first contact, or that Earth's true military capabilities dwarfed what they had revealed. The docking bay's status indicators turned green, and Julian straightened his uniform. They're aboard, Admiral. Beginning Phase 1. Good hunting, Commander. Tanaka out. Julian made his way to the reception area, where his hand-picked crew maintained the carefully choreographed illusion of a relatively unsophisticated operation. Technical displays showed outdated systems, crew members fumbled slightly with advanced alien technology, and everything about the station screamed ambitious but primitive species. The Council delegation emerged from the airlock, a diverse group of alien species, each more exotic than the last. Their leader, Ambassador Hell of the Artaxian species, moved forward with fluid grace, their iridescent scales shifting colors in the station's lighting. Commander Reeves, Hell's translator, rendered their complex harmonics into English. We bring greetings from the Galactic Council. Ambassador, Julian bowed slightly, playing his role perfectly. We're honored by your presence. Though I must admit, we're surprised by the unexpected nature of your visit. Hell's scales rippled with what Julian recognized as barely concealed condescension. The Council has been monitoring Earth's development with great interest, Commander. Recent events have necessitated a more direct intervention in your species' advancement. Julian noticed the subtle positioning of the other delegates. They were spreading out, taking strategic positions around the reception area. Their body language spoke of preparation, not diplomacy. Whatever ultimatum they planned to deliver, they expected resistance. I see, Julian replied, maintaining his facade of naive concern. Perhaps we should discuss this in the conference room. We've prepared refreshments suitable for all known Council species. As they moved through the station's corridors, Julian sent a subtle signal through his neural implant, a technology the Council didn't know humans possessed. Throughout the Hyperion, hidden systems whirred to life, preparing for multiple scenarios. Earth had spent years planning for this moment, and Julian intended to make sure humanity's first real test against the Council went exactly according to plan. The true game was about to begin, and the Council had no idea they were playing exactly into humanity's hands. The Hidden Arsenal. Admiral Diana Novak watched the tactical display from deep within Titan Base, Saturn's orange glow barely visible through the reinforced viewport. The holographic projection showed the Hyperions meeting with the Council delegation in real time, transmitted through quantum entanglement channels the aliens couldn't detect. "They're right on script," her strategic officer, Commander Reza Daller, observed. "Arrogant, condescending, and completely unaware." Diana nodded, her silver hair catching the light from the tactical displays. She'd spent 20 years helping build Earth's hidden fleet, preparing for the day when the Council would show their true colors. That day had finally arrived. "Status of the Ghost Fleet?" she asked, eyes fixed on the developing situation. "All ships in position, Admiral. The Phantom arrays are maintaining full stealth coverage. Even if the Council ships scan the system, they'll see exactly what we want them to see." The Ghost Fleet represented humanity's greatest technological achievement, ships that could bend light, gravity, and space itself around them. While the Council thought Earth was struggling with basic ion drives, human vessels could traverse the galaxy with ease, hidden from even the most advanced sensors. "Admiral," Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka called from the communications station, "Commander Reeves is initiating Phase 2. The Council delegation is presenting their ultimatum." The tactical display shifted, showing the conference room aboard the Hyperion. Ambassador Hell was speaking, their scales now pulsing with aggressive red patterns. "The Council has determined that humanity's development must be redirected." Hell's translated voice came through clearly. "Your species advances too quickly, too unpredictably. You will accept Council guidance and control, or face quarantine." Diana allowed herself a small smile as she watched Commander Reeves play his part perfectly, appearing shocked, then defensive, then resigned. The Council delegates were practically preening, convinced of their technological and tactical superiority. "Signal the Lazarus Division," Diana ordered. "Begin power-up sequences. Maintain stealth until my mark." Throughout the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. Behind Mars, the massive construction yards that had built the Ghost Fleet began awakening from their artificial slumber. Near Venus, automated defense platforms shifted in their orbits, their quantum shields rippling with barely contained energy. "Council ships are powering up weapons," Reza reported. "Still trying to be subtle about it, but they're preparing for a show of force." "Of course they are," Diana replied. "They think a few warning shots will cow the primitive humans into submission." "Status of the Prometheus?" "Ready for emergence, Admiral. Quantum drive spooled and waiting. The Council won't know what hit them." The Prometheus was humanity's masterpiece, a vessel that incorporated every breakthrough, every innovation that Earth had carefully hidden from Council observers. Its very existence violated dozens of the Council's supposedly immutable laws of physics. On the tactical display, the Council delegation was concluding their ultimatum. "You have one planetary rotation to begin the submission process," Hell declared. "Any resistance will be met with overwhelming force." Commander Reeves maintained his perfect act of cowed submission. I must consult with Earth Command. Surely there must be some alternative." "There is none," Hell replied dismissively. "The Council's decision is final. We will remain in orbit to ensure compliance." As the delegation returned to their ships, Diana opened a secure channel to Earth Command. "Admiral Tanaka, the Council took the bait. They're positioning their ships for a show of force, exactly as predicted." "Excellent," Tanaka replied. "You have authorization to proceed with Phase 3. Show them exactly why underestimating humanity was their greatest mistake. Diana turned to her crew, her voice carrying the weight of 2 decades of preparation. Signal all Ghost Fleet vessels. Prepare for synchronized decloaking. Let's show the Council what a primitive species can really do. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of ships began powering up their primary systems. The Prometheus, hidden in Jupiter's magnetic field, initiated its emergence sequence. Earth's moment of revelation was about to begin, and Diana felt a fierce pride in what was to come. Send word to Commander Reeves, she ordered. Tell him to prepare for the grandest theatrical performance of his career. When the Council threatens to open fire, he has authorization to drop the facade. The Council was about to learn a harsh lesson about appearances, and Diana intended to make it one they would never forget. Humanity's path to the stars wouldn't be dictated by anyone, especially not by those who underestimated them. Diplomatic checkmate. Ambassador Raj Patel stood in Earth Command Strategic Center, watching multiple holographic displays tracking the unfolding situation. His dark eyes reflected the shifting lights as he analyzed every detail of the Council's reactions. After 15 years in interstellar diplomacy, he knew that the next few hours would reshape humanity's place in the galaxy. They're positioning their ships for an attack formation, a tactical officer reported. Classic Council intimidation pattern. Raj nodded, his expression calm despite the tension filling the room. Right on schedule. Admiral Novak, is the Ghost Fleet in position? Ready and waiting, Diana's voice came through the quantum comm. The Council ships are completely unaware of our forces. They still think they're dealing with a single, primitive station. The main display showed Ambassador Hell returning to their flagship, the Celestial Harmony. The alien scales now pulsed with aggressive patterns of red and gold, clearly confident in their supposed superiority. Open a channel to Commander Reeves, Raj ordered. It's time for the next phase. Julian's face appeared on a secondary display. Ambassador Patel, the Council delegation is demanding an immediate response to their ultimatum. Give them one, Raj replied, a slight smile playing at his lips. Tell them Earth respectfully declines their generous offer of submission. The response was immediate. The Council ships began powering up their weapons, their energy signatures climbing rapidly. Ambassador Hell's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is your final warning, humans. Submit to Council authority or face the consequences of your defiance. Raj straightened his diplomatic uniform, its subtle armor weave catching the light. Open a direct channel to the Celestial Harmony. I believe it's time we had a proper conversation. When his image appeared on the Council ship's bridge, Raj could see the momentary confusion on Hell's face. The ambassador clearly hadn't expected to deal with another human diplomat. Ambassador Hell, Raj began, his voice carrying the weight of carefully planned authority, I am Earth's chief diplomatic officer. Before you make any regrettable decisions, I suggest you take a closer look at your sensor readings. Throughout the solar system, the Ghost Fleet began dropping their stealth fields. Ship after ship shimmered into visibility, sleek, powerful vessels that made the Council's ships look primitive by comparison. The Prometheus emerged from Jupiter's shadow, its massive form dwarfing everything around it. Impossible, Hell whispered, their scales shifting to patterns of shock and fear. Your technology level, our observations. Were exactly what we wanted you to see, Raj finished smoothly. Did you really think humanity would reveal all its capabilities to a foreign power that refused to treat us as equals? The tactical displays showed the Council ships frantically adjusting their positions, trying to account for the suddenly appeared human fleet that surrounded them. Their weapons remained powered up, but their confidence had clearly been shaken. This is a deception, another Council member shouted. These ships cannot be real. Your species lacks the technological foundation for such achievements. Raja's smile widened slightly. Commander Reeves, perhaps a small demonstration is in order. On the Hyperion, Julian gave the order. The station's outer hull began to shift and change, advanced metamaterials revealing their true nature. What had appeared to be a primitive space station transformed into a state-of-the-art command center. Your council has operated on the assumption that all species must follow your prescribed path of development, Raj continued. That assumption has led you to this moment, surrounded by forces you didn't believe could exist. He could see the council members conferring frantically, their carefully maintained superiority crumbling in the face of reality. But Raj wasn't finished. He had one more card to play. We've also taken the liberty of analyzing your ship's capabilities during your visit, he added casually. Quite impressive, for last-generation technology. Would you like to see our analysis? Or perhaps a demonstration of what current-generation human ships can do? The threat was subtle but clear. Earth hadn't just caught up to Council technology, they had surpassed it in many areas. The balance of power had shifted dramatically, and everyone on both sides knew it. The Council. Hell began, then paused, their scales shifting to diplomatic patterns. Perhaps we should discuss this situation further, in a more equitable manner. A wise choice, Raj replied. Shall we begin with a discussion about reforming the Council's first contact protocols? And perhaps a conversation about treating emerging civilizations as partners rather than subjects? As negotiations began in earnest, Raj caught Diana's approving nod on a private channel. The first phase of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage had gone perfectly. Now came the harder part, reshaping the Council into something that could truly serve all species, not just the established powers. Battle for recognition. Captain Olivia Blackwood's tactical display lit up with warning signals as new ships emerged from hyperspace. The vanguard faction of the Council, those who opposed any change to the established order, had decided to force the issue. 67 warships detected, her tactical officer, Lieutenant Dante Rodriguez, reported. Dreadnought-class vessels. They're not here to negotiate. From her command chair aboard the Prometheus, Olivia watched the new arrivals take up attack positions. The Vanguard fleet's arrival had interrupted the diplomatic talks, exactly as some Council moderates had warned might happen. All Ghost Fleet vessels, battle formations, she ordered, her voice steady. Quantum shields at maximum. Let's show them why humanity doesn't respond well to threats. The Vanguard fleet's commander, Supreme Warmaster Kraz of the Thraxian Empire, broadcast across all frequencies. This discussion is over. Humanity will submit to quarantine or face extinction. Your technological deceptions cannot save you. Olivia exchanged glances with her XO, Commander Thomas Okafor. They still think our ships are holograms or tricks, she said quietly. Time to educate them. Battle Group Alpha, initiate protocol revelation. The Prometheus's quantum drive hummed to life as the massive ship moved to intercept the Vanguard fleet. Around it, dozens of Ghost Fleet vessels shifted into advanced combat formations that the Council had never seen before. They're charging weapons, Rodriguez reported. Energy signatures suggest they're not planning on warning shots. Neither are we, Olivia replied. Deploy the drone swarms. Full spectrum engagement. From launch bays throughout the human fleet, thousands of autonomous combat drones emerged. Each one carried more computational power than entire Council ships, their quantum-linked AI cores allowing them to adapt and evolve tactics in real time. The Vanguard fleet opened fire, their energy weapons lighting up space with destructive power. But the human ship's quantum shields absorbed the attacks without strain, the advanced technology making conventional energy weapons almost useless. Return fire, Olivia ordered. Show them what real advancement looks like. The Prometheus's main weapon, the Graviton Lance, fired. Space itself twisted as focused gravitational distortions tore through the Vanguard fleet's formations. 3 dreadnoughts simply ceased to exist, their matter compressed into singularities by forces they couldn't comprehend. Multiple Council ships breaking formation, Rodriguez called out. They're trying to regroup, but our drone swarms are disrupting their coordination. The battle devolved into chaos, but a carefully controlled chaos, at least on humanity's side. The Ghost Fleet's drones demonstrated combat tactics that evolved faster than the Vanguard could adapt. Ships that had never been defeated found themselves outmaneuvered by machines that learned and adjusted in real time. "Ma'am," Communications Officer Aisha Hassan interrupted, "we're receiving transmissions from several council moderates. They're demanding the Vanguard stand down." But Supreme War Master Cross wasn't finished. His flagship, the Eternal Dominion, pushed through the chaos toward the Prometheus. "Your species is an abomination," his transmission crackled. "You've violated every natural law of development. You cannot be allowed to exist." Olivia's expression hardened. "Target the Eternal Dominion. Full power to the Graviton Lance. Let's end this." The Prometheus's weapon charged, its power signature causing nearby space to ripple. But before it could fire, something unexpected happened. 3 Council diplomatic vessels jumped in between the warships. "This ends now," Ambassador Hell's voice cut through the combat chatter. "Supreme War Master, stand down. The human ships have shown remarkable restraint. They could have destroyed your entire fleet already. They're choosing not to." "Traitor." Cross snarled. "You would side with these primitives?" "Look around you," Hell replied. "These primitives have surpassed us in ways we thought impossible. And instead of using that power to conquer, they're still trying to talk. That alone proves they deserve a place at the Council." Olivia watched as more Council diplomatic ships arrived, taking positions between the combatants. The moderates were making their choice clear: they would not allow the Vanguard to drive humanity into a war that would reshape the galaxy. "Stand down all weapons," she ordered her fleet. "But maintain shield strength. Let's see if diplomacy can finish what force started." As the tension slowly bled out of the battlefield, Olivia couldn't help but smile. Humanity had proven its strength, but more importantly, they had proven their wisdom. The galaxy was changing, and Earth had just ensured they would help guide that change. New Dawn. Director Marcus Zhang stood before the newly reformed Galactic Council chamber, his presence a testament to how much had changed in the 6 months since the Battle of Jupiter. The ancient circular chamber now featured new sections for emerging civilizations, and the hierarchical seating had been replaced by an egalitarian arrangement that emphasized cooperation over dominance. "The Joint Innovation Initiative has exceeded all expectations," Marcus reported, gesturing to the holographic displays showing collaborative projects across the galaxy. "By combining human ingenuity with Council species expertise, we've solved problems that have plagued our civilizations for centuries." The chamber hummed with appreciative murmurs as the displays showed the results: clean energy systems that had ended resource wars on 12 worlds, medical breakthroughs that crossed species barriers, and transportation innovations that had made the galaxy more accessible to all. "Most significantly," Marcus continued, "the fear of rapid advancement that once divided us has been replaced by excitement for what we can achieve together." From her seat among the diplomatic corps, Ambassador Hell's scales shimmered with patterns of pride and satisfaction. The former Council hardliner had become one of the strongest advocates for change, helping other species overcome their prejudices about development paths. "The numbers are undeniable," Marcus said, bringing up new data streams. "Cross-species research initiatives have increased by 900%. Technological breakthroughs are occurring at unprecedented rates. But most importantly, conflict between Council members has dropped to its lowest level in recorded history." The Prometheus, now transformed into a mobile research and diplomatic station, appeared on the main display. Where once it had struck fear into the Council's hearts, it now served as a symbol of cooperation. Its advanced laboratories hosted scientists from hundreds of worlds, all working together to push the boundaries of possible. Director Zhang, Supreme Counselor Ven, one of the new moderate leaders, spoke up. "Some still express concern about the pace of change. How do you respond?" Marcus smiled, remembering similar fears from Earth's own history. Change is not our enemy. Stagnation is. The Council spent millennia trying to control the pace of advancement, and what did it achieve? Secret weapons programs, hidden technological developments, and constant fear of discovery. He gestured to the chamber around them. Now look at us. Species that once hid their breakthroughs from each other now share them freely. Civilizations that were deemed too primitive are contributing innovations that benefit us all. We're stronger together than we ever were apart. The display shifted to show the new Galactic Academy of Sciences, built in Earth orbit as a symbol of humanity's commitment to shared progress. Students from thousands of worlds studied there, learning not just technology but new ways of thinking about progress itself. The old council feared chaos, Marcus continued. They thought that controlling advancement was the only way to maintain peace. But we've proven that innovation, when shared openly and guided by wisdom rather than fear, brings us closer together. From her position in the diplomatic section, Admiral Novak watched with satisfaction. The Ghost Fleet still existed, but its primary mission had shifted from defense to exploration and emergency response. Earth's hidden strength had become a shared resource for the benefit of all species. We propose expanding the Joint Innovation Initiative, Marcus announced. Not just in sciences and technology, but in culture, governance, and philosophy. Let us learn from each other in all ways, not just the technical ones. The vote was unanimous, a rarity in Council history. As the chamber erupted in approval, Marcus caught sight of Commander Reeves, now Earth's military liaison to the Council. They shared a knowing look, remembering how close the galaxy had come to war, and how humanity's measured response had turned potential enemies into allies. The stars are infinite, Marcus concluded, but only if we reach for them together. Earth didn't join the galactic community to dominate it, but to help it grow. And grow we shall, not as separate species following predetermined paths, but as partners in the greatest adventure any of us could imagine. As the session ended, Marcus watched council members from dozens of species mingling freely, sharing ideas and making plans. The frightened, conservative council that had once threatened Earth with quarantine was gone. In its place stood something new, a true federation of equals, united not by force or fear, but by shared dreams of what they could achieve together. The Prometheus hung in orbit above, its dark hull now adorned with symbols from every council species. Once a weapon of last resort, now a beacon of unity. Just as humanity had hoped, they hadn't just joined galactic civilization, they had helped it evolve into something greater than the sum of its parts. The future stretched before them, infinite in its possibilities, and for the first time in galactic history, no one faced it alone.